Alright, ladies and gentlemen, what's good? What's happening? I have returned. And we've been talking about the Call of Duty community for quite some time, so I believe it's time to go back to an older subject to which I have spoken about before, and I still find it an injustice to all gamers that Sony, Microsoft, and my friend has told me, and I'm not sure about this, some things Nintendo does. So let's get into this. We're going to kick it off with Microsoft since it is their fault from the get-go. So from the beginning of video games was always something that the player could enjoy. They could lose themselves in, it could be competitive, they could spend near hours playing the game on it a day and for an entire year sometimes. Like if you're like myself and you play Modern Warfare, you could spend literal days of your life playing the game. Something now some people will find kind of outrageous, but if you're a hardcore gamer like some of you clearly are if you're listening, then by all means you completely understand that, hey, this is just something that happens. And gamers do prefer a story, they do prefer competitiveness, they do prefer an adventure, they do prefer something amazing to drive them into a new world as a way to lose themselves in and to not focus on current events of the world, since 2020 has been kind of a shit year. Now, going forward, Microsoft and Sony have always been competing with each other. They've always been the two, the console wars, Sony and Microsoft, Xbox versus PlayStation. It's always been as such. And then you have PC and Nintendo, they tend to do their own things. They're never in between it. It's always PlayStation and Microsoft. And in my humble opinion, Sony has been currently winning that console war. You could come at me and say, how very dare you say that Microsoft is losing this console war. I dislike your video. By all means, go ahead and do it. But we all know that based off of the sales and how much larger the price is that scalpers want to give you for a PS5 and how much of a demand it is, it's very clear that this generation, they have clearly won. Now Xbox 360, I do know they won that one. I do know they won that generation. But moving past this, Xbox always made you pay for the online experience that was to have that competitive experience, to play online, to compete against other players. And this was, back in the day, a very relaxing and indulging hobby. You could always enjoy, hopping on the game with the boys and playing some video games every once in a while. Nowadays, of course, they still make you pay that sum of money every month to 3 months to a year. I still find that an injustice due to the fact that you have to pay for the console, you pay for the game, you should not pay for the online. It's just quite simple, just my humble opinion. I know they will never change this because they are money-hungry bastards, but they should consider changing up this fact due to the simple fact that it appears people are moving over to PlayStation more, and they're stopping, and Xbox people aren't really, less people are buying, more people are buying a PlayStation than Xbox, and I believe that Xbox should really consider having more leeway for at least playing online competitive content, such as you still have to pay Xbox Gold to play Fortnite Battle Royale and or Warzone for the online. That, in my humble opinion, is completely screwy. That is something that should not happen. Now, I haven't played on Xbox in a long time. If they have fixed it, by all means, that's a good thing. You should be able to play some games for free online. They shouldn't just have to force you to play. That is a completely imbecile move. PlayStation, however, has done the exact same thing when they brought it into the PS4. And the PS3, you were able to play online. That was a very smart move, and in my humble opinion, that's what really boosted up PlayStation to win the console war. That the simple fact that you could play it online for free, you bought the console, you bought the game, you should not even have to consider paying for the online unless they give you some added extra benefit to it. They should really giving you something for the story, or at least. And the fact that they don't, the fact that they're just saying, no, we're charging you just to play the game online when you bought the game, you bought the console, is ridiculous. Now again, Sony does have leeway. They do allow you to play Fortnite for free without playing PlayStation Plus. They allow you to play Call of Duty for free without paying PlayStation Plus. They do allow you to pay Paladins. They even have a list that you can play for online games for free without PlayStation Plus. And in my humble opinion, that is a good thing. You shouldn't really have to pay for the online benefits of, you know, playing games online. Nintendo, I'm gonna speak about PC. PC, when you go out and you buy a PC, hopefully, I believe I should be able to get one set up sooner rather than later, and maybe later. But when you get a game on PC, that's it. You don't really have to pay for the online benefits. You don't have to really do all that. You've bought the PC, you've bought the game. You don't have to pay for the benefits. And in my humble opinion, it's because nobody really has a huge grip over PC like that. Because when you look at it, you have PlayStation, they have the PlayStation Network, you have Microsoft with the Xbox Gold and whatnot. They really find it as a paywall and a way to monetize it through only their console only, which is quite frankly ridiculous. Now, of course, being the way of things in the current generation, people have really a less incentive to get a Xbox, new console for the Microsoft's way, because to be quite frank, you have PC and you have Xbox Game Pass where you can buy those games. Now, I'm not sure if you can use Xbox Gold for it to play online, or you just play online due to the simple fact that you have a PC, which if that is the case, very good. Please keep that going. But in my humble opinion, you should not have to pay for the online. There should be no reason for pay for play. There should be absolutely no reason for that. You bought the game, you bought the console, that should be it. You should not be forced to go down this paywall here, virtually in a way, where if you do not pay me $10, it's basically a subscription. A subscription for something you own. Now, let me give you you should already know the general idea for a subscription. This company owns this specific thing that you can view and or listen to. You do not own that thing, and so you pay a certain amount of money a month to a year, and you get the benefit of listening to it and or watching it. Xbox and PlayStations are not streaming services. You should not be allowed to pay something every month to 3 months to a year. That is highway robbery, and that is a huge what the fuck. Moving past this, I've also heard some things going on with Nintendo. I don't know exactly how that works. I think you spend money on Nintendo points and then you buy the game, but sometimes if you buy a game, you if you spend a certain amount of money, like say if you spend in $40, they won't let you do it unless you have 50. That, in my humble opinion, is kind of retarded. You know, I know I had to drop the big R word, but it's pretty retarded. There's no point of that. It's pretty much highway robbery. There's basically no real focus for that whatsoever. Now, I will not lie, PC does have its own certain amount of problems too, but the problems that come with PC is a consumer optional problem. When a consumer buys a PC, that is their PC. If they choose to upgrade it with their own money, that is their choice. That is their choice. And to be quite frank, it is a good way of moving things forward. You should not be forced to upgrade, you know, every yada yada yada, unless it comes down to the game you wants to play. Look, I'm gonna just say this. It's a real scummy move of how Sony and Microsoft have been doing things. It's real scummy. And I feel as if that they're looking at it, okay, like money-wise, but if you have to look at it, the way things currently are in the world right now with COVID and whatnot, motherfuckers ain't gonna spend $10 on a goddamn video game to play online, alright? People are strapped for cash, they're not gonna do this and that. It's tough as it is just to get some food for some places in the world with everything going on. You'd think Sony and Microsoft be like, okay, look, we're gonna give you some leeway, you get to play online if you already had the consoles. No, they don't, because they only care about money. I understand, by all means, that you're probably like, look, you're just talking, yada yada yada, there's no real point of doing this discussion. Who can afford $10? My broke ass. Seriously, there was a moment where my family was so broke to the point where I couldn't get online, and I completely understood. Motherfuckers needed heat in the house. It was freezing cold. It was wintertime. We sometimes would barely have food. So with me having a PlayStation, I kind of be pissed off because in my head I'm like, I have a game. I have COD, but I can't play the online because you have to pay for online. If that's the case, motherfuckers should have just stuck with the PS3. That was literally the fucking perfection if you look at it from a consumer point of view. But let me know what you think for this down below. I really honestly want your opinion. I've seen stuff online, movements talking about how Sony should return back to the free PS Plus style, PSN style. I don't want PS Plus. Don't even have to be free. The PlayStation Network should be free. The fact that there shouldn't even really be a PlayStation Network. You shouldn't. I understand, by all means, I understand that they have to use certain methods to have you play online, but look at PC. There's no real PC network, or to my knowledge, there isn't. You don't have to have a certain network to go through, and you shouldn't have. And they don't pay to have online. They don't do that. Now I could be wrong. But still, it's a real dick in the move, because PlayStation Plus comes with free game benefits, exclusive skins for when I say if you got Warzone and/or Fortnite. So to me, it's like, it's kind of a dick move, the fact that you're forcing me to buy it due to the fact that you're taking away literally a part of the game. Now let's take a look at COD right now. COD Modern Warfare, COD, and Call of Duty Cold War, and Warzone too. Alright, Call of Duty Warzone was attached to Modern Warfare due to the simple fact that it was based in Modern Warfare's mechanics. It was introduced to Modern Warfare. It was really part of Modern Warfare. It was like 25% of Modern Warfare. Okay, good. It's 25%. I understand that. So my PlayStation Plus right now, I literally will also see campaign, I have campaign, quad mode for online part is gone for the online. So you really have the multiplayer and the offline co-op. I want to make this clear. Playing offline and multiplayer is not a thing people do. They really don't do that. They could probably come out with a study and say, probably 100,000 people do it. Okay, that's 100,000 people who could be playing your game online. Online, mind you, due to the simple fact that you're holding them back with the PlayStation Network paywall. Now, Activision, I want to speak to Activision directly. Alright, this whole Battle Pass thing has gone up in smoke and all in your face. But I want to understand this. Fortnite basically has the option, basically said they're not going to use PlayStation Network for you. Well, no, you don't have to pay PS Plus to play Fortnite Battle Royale on PlayStation. Why haven't Activision done this? Seriously, think about it, right? The players who have to spend money on your game on PlayStation and on Xbox, mind you, have to pay for the network to be used. But think about it, if they didn't have to pay that, that would possibly be $10 to $25 to $60 within their pockets that you could use for microtransactions in other games, but instead you are forced to repeatedly buy this subscription-like substance. Keep in mind, they already have subscription thing. It's called PS Now for games. So what is the point of having PlayStation Network, basically PlayStation Plus? Because PlayStation Now is a subscription. You get to play the games, but they're not yours because you didn't make that purchase. While PlayStation Plus gives you those games, and you do technically own those games, but at the same time you don't own those games, because as soon as your PlayStation Network, when PlayStation Plus runs out, then you can no longer play those games. But you purchased a game, you fully purchased the console. Why are you paying PlayStation Plus for something you fully purchased? Especially digital. I can understand if it was a hard copy, they can come up with the excuse of, well, CDs, well, okay, but digital. Nothing to say there, do you? Or you could have a code where they would type in a code and it would let them in, verifying that yes, they did pay for the game. They pay for the game, they get to use the network benefits. There are so many ways it could have easily went one way, but instead they went the other. And still, my humble opinion is it is an extreme injustice to the player base. they should not have gone down this route. They should have kept it free like it was on PlayStation 3. But it appears that Sony saw what Microsoft made and they was like, money. Money makes the world go round, ladies and gentlemen. But I'm going to end this here. If you don't like pay for play, go ahead and hit the like button. And look, these videos, they take a moment for me to get information and whatnot, that or have enough time to make, and it does take a while for editing, at least like a few hours. So, you know, go ahead and subscribe. You know, I think I want to hit at least one. I think I want to hit 60 subscribers before the end of the year on YouTube. It's not really a big deal. Probably just like one more subscriber. Go ahead and hit the subscription button. And until next time, ladies and gentlemen. And until then, ladies and gentlemen. Peace.